Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt, and with me, of course, is my main man, Al Dennis. And we're here today. And it's been a long time, but glad to be back. The professional storm responders here to talk about weather. We finally got something to talk about, Al.
Absolutely, and it's a doozy, Matt.
Yeah, so we are talking about multiple things across the nation right now. Currently in Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota area,
And
they are,
Iowa.
yeah, I thought I said Iowa, if not in Iowa, are experiencing blizzard warnings. And that is all going to be tracking in our area over the next 24 to 36 hours, Al, and it will bring a multitude of different things for southern Michigan, northern Indiana, into northwest Ohio, and even as far as I want to
Down by
say,
Paducah, down by the Boot Hill of Missouri, it's gonna affect the entire Midwest and East Coast with the temperatures, but the snow and stuff is going all the way down to the Boot Hill of Missouri.
so a lot of the nation will be impacted. And, I was joking with some people at work today, and I said, all these people that wanted a white Christmas, you should be careful what you wish for because you're getting a little bit more than you bargained for, I think.
Absolutely, I thought of that earlier. I was going to make a post about that. Be careful what you wish for. But Matt, I'm not sure about you, but I know my area. If the snow sticks around and the National Weather Service requires a minimum of 1 inch of snow on the ground to be considered a white Christmas, the if it sticks around, which I don't see why it wouldn't, this will be the first time the Dayton area, southern or southwestern Ohio, has had a white Christmas since 2010.
I think for us it was 2018, and I'm up here in West Central Ohio. So,
Up there towards the northwest.
yeah, it's pretty funny because we only live a few counties apart from each other in actual distance, but you get down in that valley there, and it makes a world of difference of temperature and weather climate. you
Oh
know,
yeah. Well, and the same for you up there. You get up there once you get up above, you get into Dark and all of them, Mercer and Van Wert. The your wind speeds and stuff is so much more than what we have down here, and then you get a lot more lift and things like that with summertime storms.
correct. And the big thing for us, it makes it difficult for rain and this winter precipitation is we are in what's known as the Black Swamp region of the country. And so our uh, ground, it's very hard for it to uh, absorb the moisture that comes with these types of systems. And that's why, and just to, briefly talk about it, we'll get into more detail here in a minute. 3 to 5 inches anywhere else is not really a big deal, but for us, it's kind of hard to get rid of because once again, in that Black Swamp region, we really, once we get that deep freeze going, one, it's really hard to get rid of it, and two, it makes it very hard for the ground to absorb moisture.
That's correct. We got a bunch of rivers down here, sends it off to the Ohio and down to Mississippi, which they are in desperate need of.
Correct, Al. Yeah, it's crazy to think about the type of year we had being a little bit more on the above average rain that still several parts of the nation, um, just bare, almost barren wasteland. You and I talked about it. Interesting. Just on a quick side note, how Lake Mead has actually dried up to the point where they found boats that were buried at the bottom of the at Lake Mead and actual dead bodies from. They're gonna guess that they're kind of saying that it's mafia related, swimming with the fishes type of thing.
I
So,
just want to put it out here. Matt saying that, not me. Don't look for me.
well, the old mafia, nothing to
Yeah.
do with modern day. So,
Well, they're doing the same thing along the Mississippi. The water level's down so low that they're finding new things and they're getting in able to explore more of the riverbed than what they have been in the past.
and that's the amazing thing about living in. the United States is we really do have 4 seasons as far as temperatures and stuff in one country, and a lot of other countries don't see that. Where, right now in Arizona, it's in the 50s and 60s, spring-like weather. Hawaii is still in probably the 70s average temperatures, and we're in the 30s, 20s, and teens the further east you go. So it really is interesting to be living in America this time of year because you have a vast array of different, seasonal temperatures, especially, like I said, especially in the wintertime.
Absolutely, and Ohio, period. We're going to experience that over the next 48 hours, from spring-like temperatures up in the mid 40s to 20, 25 below zero within a 48-hour period.
That's right, Al. And I'll let you start off if you want to give us a brief overview of the national outlook. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but we'll go a little bit more in depth with it.
Absolutely, and I apologize if you see me keep looking over my shoulder, but my big screen is right up here, and that's where I can see everything really well. So I'll be looking sideways here if you don't mind, but you can see right now what we have it set up for. We can see the entire United States. Matt's up here, I'm down here, and I am going to put this into motion. And then what this is going to do is it's going to show us where the low pressure is and all of that. Now, this system is actually coming to us from Siberia. There's a big high pressure over there that's moved the colder air up over the Arctic Circle, and the jet stream has got it. And you're going to watch right here as I move it forward how low this.
Hey, Al, you're currently not screen sharing.
Let me back up and try it again. Start screen sharing.
There you
There
go.
we go. Now we're going to be watching these low pressures and high pressures and see what everything is happening here. Just a little bit there. You see it, everything all right, Matt?
Yep, got it.
Okay, you can see how it's dipping down, and look at these ISO bars. When these ISO bars gets really close like that, that's really high winds. And here's the low pressure that's going to cause us so much of the problem. This low pressure is going to spin counterclockwise, and that's pulling down this cold air out of Canada and drawing up this moisture down south out of the Gulf, and in this case out of the Atlantic, bringing it up, and it's just going to fuel up the East Coast for a nor'easter or blizzard-like conditions as it continues on. You can see here the heavy stuff now. Let me back up one click. Now you're getting down into the Memphis, the Boot Hill of Kentucky, or the Boot Hill of Missouri, southwestern part of Kentucky, down around Paducah, coming up through Evansville, and most of Indiana at this point. And this is showing it to be Thursday evening. This is a new update on it, by the way. Let me switch here real quick, Matt. I want to get into one of the higher refresh rates, because this will give us even a clearer picture on what's going on. Let me get caught back up here. There you can see the low pressure. It's pulling up. Here's the precipitation that's going to be coming up the East Coast as it goes down. But all the way down in here into Texas, this is that cold front that everybody's talking about. Not just this part of it. That's just the low pressure moving moisture. This great big dippity-doo here, and I'll show that here in a second, is where the actual, I see you smiling on my dippity-doo there. Is what's pushing and fueling all of this. We'll go on through. You can see the precipitations there getting heavier in spots, and it's going to move off. And you can see how all this other moisture is now wrapping up into Canada, coming back up through the upper peninsula of Michigan and the northern parts of the lower Michigan under the bridge, trolls. And it just keeps going and moves out and goes up the East Coast. Now, we'll back up here a second, and I'm going to show temperatures. Now, you can see up here we're at minus 23. So the white, you can see down here on the chart on where everything is. Unfortunately, it doesn't give me a wider spectrum than that, but we'll go ahead and put this in so you can see this blast of cold air. It's referred to also, I guess, as the Siberian Express. There you're in almost San Antonio, Houston area here, Dallas, all of Oklahoma. I mean, look at there, Oklahoma City 12, Dallas, Fort Worth Metroplex 23 degrees, and it's going to get worse. We'll scoot it on down. You can see it spreading out into Mexico, all the way down into Brownsville. You know, this is hot area down here. Corpus Christi, looking at 30. Then you get up in the Dakotas, North and South Dakota. You get up here in the northwest corner, minus 26 degrees. This is not wind chills. This is your ground temperature. And you're going to see this here in the Dayton area. You're looking at -4. Chicago, where are you at here? -7. So you can see it's a big change. It's going to come down into our area of just regular temperatures, and then by Sunday it's not going to go that far. But by Sunday it's all going to lift out and start warming back up. What I'm going to do here real quick, Matt, is I'm going to put my wind chills. Now you're going to start seeing some significant change in the temperatures here. Let me get it going. Now up here in the Dakotas, you're talking air's -52 degrees, -53 degrees up into North Dakota. But you can see them wind chills, how far down they're dropping. Let me get it all the way down. Corpus Christi, since you're down real low there, 13 degrees. St. Louis area, -27. Chicago, -25. Advance it a little bit more. Now you can see up around Fort Wayne, up near Matt's area, I've seen a -30, -31. Down here in the Dayton area, -30. So, I mean, these are some very, very dangerous wind chills. This can cause damage to your skin within minutes of exposed skin being outside, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Before I get out, I am going to change my models over. This is a National Weather Services blended model, an ensemble of the multiple different models. They average it out on snowfall, and we are going to be looking at the winter weather snowfall totals for this storm. You can see how fast it just blows up. Up here in the Upper Peninsula, up around Escanaba, 23 inches. Manistee, 16 inches. Marquette, 23. Up here around, where am I at? Up around Ypsilanti, 9. Down here in little old Dayton, 2. Up around the Fort Wayne, you're looking at the 4-inch. You can see, and this is as the storm goes on. We're into Sunday now, and it's going to be some wraparound snow activity afterwards. But here is midnight, Christmas Day into Monday morning. This is some of the totals you could see, and you can see just how ridiculous this snowpack is along Chicago, up in your area, 12 to 15 inches, according to these models right now. And the UP, I got a lot of family up there, 25 inches, Escanaba, 25, 24, Marquette area, 22, 23, and then back down in here. Let's see, Boot Hill, get an inch or so, then coming up through southwestern Kentucky, Evansville, all of that down there, you're looking at a few inches down there as well, Matt. This is going to be a very significant thing, but it's not going to be a very long duration. I'll switch it back over just to show you. I'm going to put my temperatures back up.
While you're doing that, Al, I do want to say one thing, and this is as of the briefing this morning for my area. There's still only a medium confidence of the amount of snow that we will be getting. Tomorrow morning will be the telltale sign of what. So even though right now we're looking at, 3 to 5 inches in northern Ohio, west central Ohio, there's still a chance that could change. So it's still a very rapidly changing and very unstable system moving through, and they're not even fully confident. Now, once you get into northern Indiana, southern Michigan, and the very extreme northern tip of Ohio at this point, and we'll play you a video on that here in a minute, they're kind of saying at this point what you see is what you're going to get, but south of there is still kind of 50-50 on we could get more, we could get less, we could get right where they're predicting right now. So just bear in mind when you do see this video, it's still very much
a very fluent forecast.
Yeah, yep, rapidly changing, fluid weather system. And right now, starting, I believe, Sunday, we were supposed to get 8 to 12 inches, and now we're at 3 to 5. So I just wanted to, before we moved any further, I wanted to say that hey, right now it's looking 3 to 5. But for those of you who are familiar with this general area, right now it looks like north of 24, which comes through Paulding County into Defiance County up, and it angles toward Toledo. It goes right up through Toledo. As a matter of fact, I think it goes into Michigan. And it gets like a back way. You can go into Detroit, as a matter of fact. Anything north of that right now is where they're predicting the heaviest snowfall for our general area. And then if you kind of look at the models, right now the models are kind of showing that as well. Michigan, northern Indiana, extreme northern Ohio. So right now it looks like that is going to hold true, but tomorrow morning could bring a very different story.
Absolutely. And we watch these models. I pull up and run models, especially with this system, 3-4 times a day. And every time it's changed a little bit here and there with the temperatures, the wind chills, snow totals, all of that. So, I mean, there's a lot that we look at when we go into this. You got to take in consideration your dew points, wind directions, wind speeds, your pressures, and all of that.
And one other thing I wanted to say, isn't it amazing that, was it last week or 2 weeks ago now, we were talking about tornadoes in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and now we're talking about temperatures in single digits.
Yeah, last Friday there was a tornado emergency declared in Fort Worth for a tornado on the ground moving through the Metroplex, went up towards the airport.
And unfortunately, there were 2 people who perished. I believe it was all in Grapevine, which is a suburb of Fort Worth. So, yeah, very, very tragic situation. 2 EF2 confirmed 2 EF2 tornadoes went through. I know there were some tornadoes in Louisiana that day as well.
Yeah, all over Dixie Alley, Tornado Alley and Dixie Alley, both through Louisiana, a little bit in Arkansas, Mississippi, and some in Alabama.
Yeah, and not that there's ever a good time to have tornado damage, but especially this time of year, it's always a little bit extra sting to it. But especially with the loss of life. So on behalf of PSR, our thoughts and prayers go out to all those affected.
Not just the ones that have perished, but everybody affected.
Exactly. Yep. But so we are now going to do a more regional view, Al. I will pull up, I referenced it earlier, the briefing this morning from the National Weather Service based out of northern Indiana. It's North Webster, so little tiny town north of Fort Wayne. They have a really nice facility there. I'm going to pull up their video, and we're going to let them kind of tell you about what's going on in my neck of the woods. And yeah, so, and the reason we're sharing all of this is just to let you know all the different things we look at before we put out a video. We go to the National Weather Service. We look at pivotal weather. We look at, all kinds of models and data. So just so you know, we're not just a couple of yokels just, shooting from the hip. But yeah, so I'm going to.
Yeah, we get our own details, we get our own information, come up with that versus going to other people's sites and listen what they have to say and then regurgitate it back out to you, making you think we come up with it. Everything we're talking and saying here, we'll show you where we got it from, and all of these are opinions, are strictly our opinions here.
Correct, Al. So I'm going to go ahead and let this video play. And once again, this is the National Weather Service out of northern Indiana talking about our neck of the woods and what's going to happen in northern Indiana, southern Michigan, and northwest Ohio.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Kyle Brown with your Wednesday afternoon weather briefing. So we have issued a blizzard warning and a winter storm warning for our area ahead of a winter storm, which will begin to impact the area Thursday afternoon, and then with impacts all the way through Friday night and into Saturday. We will see a combination of snow, which will be heavy at times, strong winds from the west at 40 to 50 miles per hour. This will result in.
Can you pause it for a second, Matt?
Yeah. Yep.
Is this just that little screen down here, or is it somebody talking?
There should be somebody talking. I'm not sure why it's not.
I don't see that. All I'm seeing is the winter storm watch areas.
Oh, so it's not playing the audio?
It's playing the audio, yes. But if it was showing somebody or something, I wasn't seeing.
Oh, no, there's nobody on there. It's just showing the graphs.
Okay,
graphics.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, okay.
Widespread blowing and drifting snow, and we will see plummeting temperatures, which includes wind chills well below zero, 20 to 30 degrees below zero at times. This is an unusual storm for late December, but I do want you to know that the impacts from this storm will not be like that of the 1978 blizzard. So north of US 24, that is where we are expecting the greatest snow accumulations to be late Thursday evening through Friday evening. Blizzard conditions will be most likely in those areas, mainly in far northwest Indiana and southwest Michigan. Now, as you move away from the lake and especially south of US 24, blizzard conditions are less likely, but all of northern Indiana and southern Michigan will see a period of snow of 1 inch per hour Thursday night. So that, in combination with the very strong winds we're expecting, will result in a period of blizzard conditions. But again, the most numerous blizzard conditions, quarter-mile visibility, and then some whiteout conditions will be in far northwest Indiana and then into southwest Michigan from this storm system. This graphic here is an hourly temperature forecast. So here is 8 a.m. on Thursday, and here is 1 a.m. on Friday. And then on the left-hand side, we have a selection of cities in our forecast area. So you'll notice that on Thursday, temperatures will generally be near freezing to above freezing, but that by the time we get to sunset on Thursday night, that's when that cold front approaches and we start to see temperatures plummet into the 20s and then into the teens, and then temperatures fall even further overnight into the single digits by Friday morning. So notice that temperatures are going to fall very quickly in a short amount of time. If there are any wet roadways out there, that does create the opportunity for the flash freeze scenario. However, by this point, precipitation is going to be mainly snow, so we're not expecting there to be a period of freezing rain or freezing drizzle. Just know that. So similar idea with this graphic, only we are looking at the maximum wind gust forecast. So our main window of opportunity to see wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour is going to be early Friday morning and then through the day on Friday. Closer to Lake Michigan, that's where we could see wind gusts of 50 to 55 miles per hour. But notice that, anywhere from midnight Friday all the way through noon on Friday, we'll have a prolonged period of wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour. So that will greatly hamper cleanup efforts from this snowstorm and create numerous issues with blowing and drifting snow. Blowing and drifting snow will be most problematic on those north and south oriented roadways as the wind direction will be from the west. We've talked about the temperatures, we've talked about the wind gusts. Now let's take a look at the wind chills. Wind chills will be well below zero by early Friday morning. Wind chills of minus 30 to minus 20 are expected. And wind chill forecast will be well below zero all the way through the day on Saturday, and then even all the way through the day on Sunday. So it will become brutally cold, and it will stay that way through the weekend. And just to highlight this a little bit more, you know, wind chill of about 20 some degrees at 6 p.m. in Angola on Thursday, but that's going to be well below zero just 12 hours later. So it is going to be a shock to the system, and frostbite can occur in minutes when wind chills are in that minus 20 to minus 30 degree range. To wrap up this briefing, we do have high confidence in the timing of this system. Snowfall amounts may continue to be adjusted a little bit in the coming forecast cycles, but again, the snowfall totals are not the main story with this system. It's the strong wind gusts from the west of 40 to 50 miles per hour and those very cold wind chills, 30 below zero at times. So just know that there will be significant travel impacts regardless of the snow amount that you see in your area. I thank you for your time. Our next weather briefing will be Thursday morning. Stay safe.
And so once again, that was the National Weather Service in Northern Indiana with their outlook. And the reason I like to play that right after you looked at the models out is it kind of backs up what, you just said. It kind of shows that, when we look at the models, we take it serious, and we
100%.
do take our time and make sure that we have full knowledge before we put out a video, because the gentleman from the National Weather Service kind of mirrored a lot of what you said.
Well, see, if I would have watched that video earlier, I wouldn't have had to look through all the models.
Yeah, Al, so we'll take a look now at your area. And I know they didn't do a briefing. I know it's they're currently forecasting a winter weather advisory for a lot of your area, and I'll bring that map up here in just 1 second. But the good news is for a lot of your area, it looks like it's not going to be as bad for your neck of the woods.
Yeah, we are right now, and we'll talk about that in a second. Right now, we're only under a winter storm watch.
And I will pull that up here, Al. And as you can see here, if there's anything you would like me to click on, let me know.
No, you're fine. And you wonder, why is the pink counties and the blue counties, why are they the way they are? And that's that's strictly on timing on the different watches and stuff like that. Matt, if you want, I can take the screen and I can bring up our warning stuff and show what we're talking about with the timing. The National Weather Service, when they issue things, it's issued on timing, and you can see here that a winter weather advisory anytime before or during the event. So anytime something's going on, whether if they know about it in advance, they can get it out. But the watch is 24 to 72. Winter storm warning is less than 24 hours before the event, and depending on the information, the details from the models is where they'll issue the blizzard warning, which we are meeting some of the characteristics for the warning side of it, because we are going to have the sustained winds of 35 mile an hour. It is very possible of having less than a quarter mile visibility, and both of them lasting for 3 hours, because this is going to be going on for multiple hours that this is going to happen. You don't have to have 24 inches of snow for it to be declared a blizzard. You just have to meet the 35 plus mile an hour, 35 or greater mile an hour wind, and the quarter mile or less visibility for 3 hours. And then the same with the freeze and rain with the advisory and warnings. It's all on the timing on how it's coming in and things like that. This is a great illustration to show you how things are done and why they are done. We've seen there's another picture up, and I don't have it with me or have it on this computer, of the wind chills. Anything that the National Weather Service does, whether it's severe thunderstorm warnings, anything like that, it basically falls off of timing on how far out they're predicting it to be, things like that. And there's a couple other things that change, like with the blizzard warnings, or here the winter storm warning, snowfall of 2 inches or greater, freezing rain, sleet, all of that. And it's the same with the summertime storms. They have their own criteria as well, but it's basically off of the timing, Matt.
That's correct, Al. And if you want to go back and check us out on our YouTube page at the Professional Storm Responders, if I remember correctly, we have a video talking about all that. I believe we did more of a springtime, summertime, severe weather video on that. But if that's something you're interested in learning, we have a video about that. And if you would like us to go more in depth with the winter weather warnings and advisories and all that, let us know. And that's a video we would gladly put out for you as well.
Absolutely.
And then quickly, I know just to wrap up our neck of the woods right now, the southeastern part of the state is looking pretty good. I know they're not under any watches, warnings, advisories at this time. That would include Athens, and then along the West Virginia border, all of the smaller rural cities along that way. And then, of course, Cleveland by the lake. Give me 1 second here.
I've got it pulled up. I've got Radar Omega. Radar Omega is one of the apps we use on our PCs and our cellular devices to do this, and to go out and do storm chasing that me and Matt does. I don't have a lot of the winter warning or winter storm watches and stuff activated on mine, but I do have the blizzard ones. You can see where Matt's here in Van Wert. You can see it's not far from him on the blizzard warnings as of yet.
So if you draw a line basically from Toledo to the Pennsylvania line, the Ashtabula area, all of that is currently under a winter storm warning. North along the lake, the extreme northern part of Ohio, and then even south, that would be southeastern Michigan, they're currently under a storm warning. I'm not sure what that means. I can pull it up really quick. Just a regular storm warning. Must be for the lakes. Storm warning, southwest winds of 40 to 50 knots. Yes. So along the lake there, they're currently under a storm advisory for winds and probably the temperatures as well. So basically, if you're in any part of northern Ohio, southern Michigan, or all of Michigan at this point, and northern Indiana, you can expect to see the most significant part of the storm. And Al talked about that earlier when we did our national view. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at in Ohio right now. Like they said, the only thing that could be different is if you are south of I-24, which if you over here near Paulding going back into Fort Wayne, it's that you see where Antwerp is and all that up into Defiance. Yep, you're on it right there. The only thing that may change, they said that points south of I-24. So, south of Fort Wayne here, Paulding, Van Wert counties, kind of Putnam County, those general areas right there are still kind of what they're not confident on. Everything north, where Al just put the arrow back into Indiana and northern, the north of I-24, they have the greatest confidence at this time that that is going to be where the heaviest snow and the worst winds will occur in those areas. So just to kind of do a brief overview of everything we've talked about. And Al, of course, with this being a significant weather event, we will, if anything changes tomorrow drastically that we need to cover, we'll definitely be bringing you another video. And be sure to tune in on Friday, 6:30. We will be going live answering any of your questions. It doesn't just have to pertain to this winter storm event. If there are any weather questions you have at all, we would love to hear them. We'd love to, have a little fun, come and hang out with us, and
Yeah, we're all going to be stuck. We're all going to be stuck at home anyway. Nobody needs to be out driving in this mess. So, just set a reminder on your electronic devices. I can't say their name, or they're all going to. They're the Echo. See, I could call it Echo because I know yours ain't set for that either.
Right.
So you can set it up on there to set a reminder to check us out. And if you got a questions, or if you hear something between now and then that has you pondering on what it means or how does that affect you, hop on and let us know. We're going to be going over live radar as it's happening, as well as answering questions.
Yes, and don't forget to search us on social media at Facebook Professional Storm Responders. We usually try to do a really good job. If you give us a message on Messenger, we try to respond as quick as possible. We had a neighbor kid of mine across the street. He's been, I think he's been really hoping for some snow days because every morning he's been asking us about the winter weather. So if you are a weather enthusiast like us, or if you are, want to learn more about weather
questions,
yeah, feel free to reach out. We're never unapproachable. I promise. We look big and scary with our vaudevillian mustaches and our Santa beards, but no, we welcome feedback. We welcome all questions, comments. We enjoy it. And then once again, find us on YouTube at the Professional Storm Responders.
And me and Matt squeezed our budgets around together. We hired a Facebook influencer. Rachel is her name. We pay her a lot of money to keep up on our social media platforms, and she's doing a wonderful job. She's making more than I am now. So
yeah,
hats off to Rachel for all the good work she's been doing on getting our weather models out, or the models out during the afternoon. Any type of anything the Storm Prediction Center is putting out, she tries to get them out as promptly as possible.
That's correct, Al. And one more thing, behalf of my family and everybody here at the Professional Storm Responders, in case you can't join us beforehand, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Please be safe and stay weather aware, especially these next few days, as once again, a very fluid, rapidly changing weather event occurring. Stay tuned to us and your local news outlets to once again stay weather aware and make the smartest decisions possible these holiday seasons.
Absolutely. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and all the other ones. We don't want to eliminate anybody out there, that the ones we can think of at least.
Right.
But with this, one thing before we sign out, I just want everybody to know, don't panic shop. Don't go out and buy 3 generators. Don't go out and do all of that. We're talking about a storm system that's going to affect you for about 48 to 72 hours, depending on where you're at. Get what you need and stay at home. Stay off the roads. And I wanted to allude to this earlier. With farther south you go, like in my area, we will have freezing rain. We'll have wet pavements before the cold air gets to us. So we will have ice under our snow. 4-wheel drive don't mean nothing, because that's 4-wheel drive, not 4-wheel stop. So be careful with that. And Matt and I, anywhere along this storm system, pay very close attention. You might actually hear some thunder snow. Very rare, and if you do, get a hold of your local National Weather Service office and let them know, hey, 5 minutes ago, I live right here in Dayton, Ohio. 5 minutes ago, I heard thunder, seen lightning, or just heard thunder, whatever. And something even rarer than that is ice quake. An ice quake is where the ground is saturated with water, like the precipitation we're going to get down a little bit farther south, and then gets a rapid freezing. It's just like an earthquake. It don't move around like that, but normally you'll hear a big loud pop, a bang, and that's just where the soil, where the water is expanding, the soil will loosen up from each other, and it'll move a little bit. It's nothing like what happened in California. Anything, you won't feel it, sitting at your dining room table. But it's a phenomenon that's rare and really cool. If you can hear it, it's extremely cool. Last time it was like a couple years ago since I heard it, and I was really excited about it.
I've seen lightning coming out of a snowstorm one time in my life. And the weirdest thing was, probably was not thunder snow. It was probably, I was right on a ridge, and within a 5-mile period of each other, the temperatures were just warm enough, not a severe thunderstorm, but just a common thunderstorm off in the distance, while I was driving in snow. One of the wildest things I've ever seen in my life.
I've heard, I've not seen the lightning. I've heard thunder snow twice. I've actually seen it. We can see thunder snow on our radar program. We can watch the lightning, bring our lightning model up, and we can see if there's actually lightning detection, which would pull out thunder snow. So we'll be paying a very close attention on that. And like I said, we don't want to hold you up. We want you to go ahead and enjoy your evening, and make sure to keep an eye on us. We're going to try to get you as much information as possible. Again, we like your thumbs up, your likes, your subscriptions, but that's not what we're here for. We want to get information out to you. We're not going to scare cast, do anything like that. It's the end of the world. 78 blizzard ain't nothing compared to what's happening this weekend, anything like that. So we're not going to scare cast you, clickbait you, anything like that. We're going to give it to you straight, exactly how we know it and what we see, and we can back up what we see on the weather models that we bring in to you. So from, like Matt said, from our house to yours, we really want to wish you a happy holidays, cover everybody there, and stay safe, stay very safe and weather aware.